totally apolitical creature called Jack in the Green, and his job, if mythical creatures can be so gainfully employed, was to look after all the things that grow during the cold and dark winter months and allow them to be reborn again, to blossom again in the spring. What utter tosh, but John Anderson told me that from his teepee, so it must be true. Jack in the Green. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Have you seen Jack in the Green? With his long tail hanging down, he quietly sits under every tree. In the folds of his velvet gown, he drinks from the empty acorn cup that you, the dawn sweetly bestows, and taps his cane upon the ground, signals the snowdrops it's time to grow. Hey! It's no fun being Jack in the Green. No place to dance, no time for song. He wears the colors of the summer soldier and carries a green flag all winter long. Jack, do you never sleep? And does the green still run deep in your heart? Or will these changing times, motorways, our lines keep us apart? Oh, well, I don't think so. I saw some grass growing through the pavements today. And the rowan, the oak, and the holly tree are the charges meant for him to croon. Each blade of grass whispers Jack in the Green. Oh, Jack, please help me through a winter's night. And we are the berries on the holly tree, and the mistle thrush is coming, Jack, put out the light. Now, in 1968, we made our very first album. Back then, we were just a little old blues band, one of the many playing in the north of London, and the blues clubs and the pubs and the bars, alongside such worthy peers as John Mayall's Blues Breakers, the early Fleetwood Mac, Chicken Shack, Savoy Brown, to mention just more than I can possibly remember. This one is a song from the very first record, curiously titled Beggars Farm. You're taking chances, and your reputation's going down. Going out in the night time, you think you make no sound, but you don't fool me, 'cause I know what you feel. If you ignore the things I say, someday soon's gonna find you way down a Beggars Farm. Way down on Beggars Farm. I pay my money for no returns. Don't think I need you. I'm gonna find someone, but you don't fool me, 'cause I know what you feel. If you go out, I won't ask you why, and I won't worry when I see you lying down on Beggars Farm, way down on Beggars Farm. When you run to me, I'm gonna turn away. Won't even listen when you try to say that you were only fooling around, 'cause I know what you feel. And if you ask me nicely, woman, I'll get up early one day soon, and I'll visit you down on Beggars Farm, way down on Beggars Farm. Thank you very much. Hey, hey. Thank you very much indeed. Very kind. Thank you. Now a long-forgotten song from the Aqualung album. We'll be playing quite a few songs from the Aqualung album tonight. And I hope that on your way into the theatre, someone pressed into your warm and clammy hands a copy of the Jethro Tull live CD, Aqualung Live, yeah? You got one? Oh, you're waving it at me. Bless you, thank you. I've got my copy safely back in the dressing room. This is one of those ones we never got round to playing for 34 long years. Until last year when we re-recorded it for the first time. This is a piece called up to me, filled with manic laughter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take you to the cinema, leave you in a wimpy bar. You tell me that we've gone too far. Come running up to me. Make the scene and cousin checks. Begin to put the bottles back. Man says glasses that I cracked. It was up to me. Yeah. Buy a silver cloud of ride. Pack the tennis club inside. Trouser cuffs hung far too wide. It was up to me. Tires down on your bicycle. You know it feels like an icicle. The yellow-fingered smoky girl is looking up to me. Yeah. I'm a common working man with a heart of bitter bread and jam. But if it pleases me, I'll put one on you, man, when the copper fades away. The rainy season comes to pass. The day glow pirate sings at last. And if I laughed a bit too fast, it was up to me. Take you to the cinema and leave you in a wimpy bar. You tell me that we've gone too far. I'm running up to me. Yeah. Thanks very much, you're kind. Thank you. Now, another one from the the folk rock period, so to speak. This is actually not only from back then, but was re-recorded not too long ago for the Jethro Tull Christmas album. Yes, it's that time of the year again. So just imagine, if you will, Bing Crosby with the flute. It's nothing like that at all. This one is a re-recording on that album of a piece about a little fella who lives on the roof of my house and spins in the wind. Wrought in iron by the local blacksmith, his name is Mr. Weathercock. Good morning, Weathercock. How'd you fare last night? Did the Cohen bite you? And did you face up to the fright? when the leaves spin from October and wave around your tail? Did you shake from the blast and did you shiver through the gale? And give us direction and the best of goodwill. Put us in touch with the fair winds. Sing to us softly an evening song, and tell us what the blacksmith has done for you. Well, do you simply reflect changes in the patterns of the sky? Or is it true to say the weather heats the twinkle in your eye? Do you fight the rush of winter and hold snowflakes at bay? Do you lift the dachshund from the fields and help him on his way? Good morning, Weathercock, make this day bright. Put us in touch with your fair winds. Sing to us softly an evening song. Find the way to better days we can share with you. Good morning, Weathercock, make this day bright. Put us in touch with your fair wind. Sing to us softly an evening song. Find the way to better days we can share with you. Thank you. What's happening next? Oh, it's Grimster. Now then, time to bring on our very special guest, a mere 22-year-old stripling, clad in not a lot and with bare feet to match, is our special guest, Lucia Micarelli, who, having been properly brought up in a kind and thoughtful establishment for young ladies to learn to play classical violin, a place called Juilliard College in New York. She escaped, went down the bedclothes in the middle of the night and landed on a rock and roll tour bus, where she discovered sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Now, we normally keep her chained up in the back of the bus, clad in black leather, and she's allowed to come on stage just terribly briefly Please give a warm welcome to the very talented Lucia Micarelli. Hey. See, we got the pink in LA, did we? Yeah? I like the pink. Not that much, so don't get me wrong here, but not bad. Not bad. This is a piece of music not written really for a duet for flute and violin, but it was written for two flutes to play together because I have a friend in Italy, the very, well, I guess Italy's most famous classical flautist. His name is Andrea Grimonelli. Andrea's a great-looking guy, a real Italian stud, but not so lucky with the ladies. And when I first met Andrea, he in fact had just split up with his girlfriend after quite a long relationship, and she walked out on him, just left him for another flute player, probably. With a bigger flute? Maybe. So to cheer up Andrea, I wrote this piece for two flutes that we could play together, and it's probably the most miserable bit of music I've ever written in my life, so it didn't do the trick. He's been in abject depression ever since. He's not with us tonight, but Lucia is. So for flute and violin, a duet called Grimonelli's Lament. Lucia Micarelli with Grimonelli's Lament. Now Lucia's going to do a very, 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 very brave thing. I'd be shit scared to have to do this. To stand on the stage all alone and play a fine piece of music without the aid of her friends. Lucia's going to play a piece of classical music that is an arrangement, in fact, of a piece by one of these classical geezer composer fellas, Sibelius, who, in fact, wrote a very, very fine violin concerto. So Lucia tells me. And apparently he wrote this is true, he wrote this sitting on the toilet. He did, on the lavie-loo. Did. Whole violin concerto. Anyway, Lucia's going to play just a little section of it. I mean, not the whole bowel movement, just a little kind of excerpt from the tongue-twisting Sibelius violin concerto, which she calls Aurora. It is actually one of the tracks on Lucia's debut album, which you will find out there in the merchandising stand and with her name written on it, especially for you. Aurora. Lucia Micarelli with Aurora there.